This is then your 8th year doing the open?
It sure is. Yeah. 8th season.
How did it go this year? I mean, I know you did great, like,
Oh,
because you
thanks.
made the, was it quarterfinals?
Yeah.
But how is it compared to, like, I have no idea, how was it compared to last year and stuff
Yeah,
like
it was
that?
good. We had a lot of, I'm sure everyone's talking about, maybe at your gym too, but there was some discrepancy, or I don't know, some people had different thoughts on how the open was this year from a programming standpoint. And so as one of our, I don't know how to say this, but like one of our bigger athletes, I was looking forward to, like some heavy barbell or something like that. And so it was a little sad that we didn't get that in the open this year, but it was fun. The 3 individual workouts on their own were interesting. And I was excited to maybe have like a little more variety, but I always just try to look at like the bigger picture from their perspective and think like, okay, from this like little snapshot, I didn't love it, but like maybe in the bigger picture it fits better together. So after the quarterfinal workouts, I feel like I'll have more of a sense of how I feel about the season. But
yeah, I'm sure you'll be getting a heavy barbell coming up.
I hope so. Yeah, we'll see. It's interesting because we had a couple of athletes that qualified for quarterfinals who are like our smaller athletes. And so they are like, oh my gosh, they're like very worried about the heavier barbell. But traditionally that's what we expect. Like the open's a little more like engine focused and quarterfinals is a little more like heavier barbell, higher levels, skill gymnastics and stuff like that. So we'll see what we get next weekend.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Annette, Sarah is one of the ones that I watched finish the workout last week, and she was the one that I have the girl crush on.
Okay.
That was such a fun moment, wasn't it? When she just put on her weight belt and everyone was like, oh my gosh, Sarah, you have to pick up the barbell. And then she just took her time and then just did all those reps unbroken. That was so cool.
Oh, that's right. Anne told me. Yeah, 15 thrusters at the very end.
Cool. At 85 pounds.
Yeah.
Crazy town.
Yeah.
So you are 34.
I am.
Oh, okay.
I just looked it up on the game.
It took me
very cool.
You've been doing CrossFit Opens since you were 28?
That seems right.
26.
26.
Oh, because she's 34, right?
Yeah, 26.
26.
Yeah. Simple math is not my thing.
Big numbers over here too, don't worry.
Have you noticed any changes as you've gotten now into your 30s versus when you were working out in your 20s?
So I think that every year I've done CrossFit, I care a little bit more and more about it. So I think I've just made different like lifestyle adjustments as I've been more interested in competing in CrossFit. So I think when I first started, I just sort of casually did it. And then as I got more interested in being better at it, I think I've like sort of honed in on things over the years. So I just think it keeps getting better and better for me as I learn like what my body needs and how to recover better and things like that. So I feel like it's just trending up.
That's so good.
Yeah. Ethan, I always tease Ethan that like, okay, this is going to be my last year before I retire. Okay, now this is going to be my last year before I retire. Okay, no, now it's this year. But every year just keeps getting better. So I'm just going to write it out for as long as it feels good.
What would be some of the changes that you've made over the 8 years to get? So I'm one of them, and I've shared this with Annette, is the nasal breathing 45-minute zone 2 workouts that you've been doing. That's something new that I've seen you add.
Yeah.
And maybe you can talk about why you've added that and then some of the other things that a normal CrossFit goer maybe doesn't think about changing.
Yeah, so that was new this season. I think I started that maybe in January. I can't remember. I think it was basically when we started our open prep season. And that was something that we learned from a guy named Peter Attia. He's a podcast host that we love. I think I shared a couple episodes with you. and he's just a total nerd about exercise science. And so we adopted that from him, and it was sort of like, well, we're going to test this. We don't know if I'll see any results from it, but basically it was sort of what seemed like an easy way to potentially increase fitness gains without putting me in the dirt. So that's the whole like premise behind that zone 2 work, is it's a way to develop your aerobic capacity without like putting you, like I said, in the dirt, without hopefully like suffering too much, or like making your body break down. And so we added that in and just sort of like hoped that it would help in some capacity. So that was something I added this season. And then previously just like really dialing in my macros and making sure I'm, getting enough sleep. Those two things are really important to me. So those I would say have just like honed in over the years, like just gotten more like on track with my macros and making sure that I really prioritize sleep and recovery.
So how have you noticed a difference with the zone 2 workouts?
Yeah, if you could just say what zone 2 is also.
So zone 2 is just keeping your heart rate in a certain spectrum. Basically, if I can like hold a sort of breathy conversation, or if I can nose breathe the whole time, that's usually where my zone 2 rate is. It's person dependent, and I just usually wear a heart rate monitor while I'm doing it just to keep me in that zone. If it's going over, that means you're working too hard. And if it's like just like a walk, you're not working quite hard enough. So that's the zone 2. And sorry, what was the rest of your question?
Has it helped?
Oh, so that's a hard question to answer, because I feel like it's hard to just isolate one particular thing, because there's just so many factors, right? I think I've gotten more fit over the years. And so it's hard to just say like, does this one thing help, or is it just like all the things? Like, would I have increased my fitness just generally following Ethan's programming? I would like to say the answer is yes, but like at what rate, so that's hard I feel like to put that in, like isolate that on its own. I wish I could say yes, certainly, or no, certainly. It would have been neat to do like maybe a benchmark a couple months ago and then like repeat it, like maybe like a 2K row test, and then like repeat it after a few months of zone 2 work, but I didn't. So I'll just say that yes, I feel fit, and I felt super prepared for the open, and I feel really good going into quarterfinals. So
nice.
That did contribute. Yeah.
I'm sure you could go back and find a workout. Why don't you just redo the 12 days of Christmas?
Oh,
good idea. I know you love that.
I did. I mean, I hated it and I loved it. All in the same.
Those benchmarks are fun. You did the clean your plate workout too, right? The Thanksgiving one?
I did not.
You did not? Oh,
no.
I can never decide which of those two I like better. I think the Thanksgiving one though, so you'll have to do it next year.
Yes, I will. Hopefully I will not have COVID.
That's true.
Oh. So how often were you doing those workouts?
So I did 4 45-minute sessions a week.
Okay, 4. Are you going to continue that?
My
I mean, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a lot of time. My goal was just to do it through quarterfinals, and then I'll reassess. I think it's one of those things that I will enjoy more if I do it in seasons, because it's a lot of time, and I don't want to say it's boring, but it's a lot,
Well, you're on a bike.
Right. And you're just sort of sitting there. It's very meditative. If I ever am like sort of processing something at work, or, something in my life, I'll zone 2 or 45 minutes and I get off, and I always have some clarity around it. So I feel like it's been very meditative in a lot of ways. But yes, I think I'll be happy to have a little pause from that after the season, and then get back to it again, maybe in the fall.
Yeah, I was wondering about the timing of, would it be beneficial to do this, December, January, February, and then do the workouts, for the open, and then go back to it later when you feel like you need to ramp up.
For sure. I think usually after the open, I start focusing more on like barbell stuff anyway. And so it might just be a nice time to like have a little more lifting focus, and then as the season, as we turn more into like fall and things like that, maybe get back to building that engine again.
Yeah. What are some things that you are doing to prepare for quarterfinals? So I know that our sugar WOD has now basically 4 workouts in it. There's one for non-quarterfinal people and one for quarterfinal people. And so you're doing that, but what else are you focused on or adding in or being really intentional about?
Well, first, I just want to give Ethan a complete shout out because I feel like he just goes above and beyond helping us prepare for quarterfinals. Like, it's so cool that he basically made us this entire prep weekend with these specific workouts. That's just, it's so awesome. I mean, I don't know if other coaches are doing that, but I think that just because I know that he loves it too, but I think it's so neat that he's like taken previous workouts and like looked at them and then made us these workouts so that we feel prepared for what we would get next weekend. And so it's just like super fun to have that. I think otherwise, Hamilton's so understanding and I'm like, okay, I need, to prioritize.
Hamilton's her boyfriend.
Oh yeah. But like prioritizing my sleep and recovery and just really making sure that I'm able to do that has been really nice, but no other real changes. I think just the things that I'd set for myself during the open, I just continue with that for the next couple weeks.